It's Jake here from the Honest Gadget, and this is the ATK Blazing Sky Zero, and on paper it looks almost stupidly good. We're talking about an ultra-light wireless gaming mouse with the flagship PAW 3950 Ultra sensor, up to 8K polling, optical switches, a safe competitive shape, and the kind of specs that used to be reserved for much more expensive mice. And it can be had for under $70. So naturally, the question is pretty simple. Is this actually one of the best value gaming mice right now? Or is it just another spec sheet monster with a few annoying compromises once you actually start using it? And just to be transparent, this mouse was sent out to me for review, but of course everything is my own opinion. Okay, let's start with the box. I'll open it with my trusty kitchen knife. Here there's a cool ribbon on it saying all for gaming, which is exactly what I want to do on this mouse. I just want to say I really like the box design. It's got a nice silver color to it with a sort of tech looking design. It kind of reminds me of the Death Star from Star Wars. Of course, inside the box is the mouse itself. The ATK Zero comes in multiple designs. I opted for the Frost White, which has these nice red accents and allows you to sort of opaquely see into the internals. It's a nice gaming centric design. Also included is the Gem 8K dongle, which allows you to play up to an 8K polling rate. Then there is an accessories box which includes a braided USB-A to USB-C cable. This plastic package here also has extra stock skates, 8 white dot mouse feet, and a set of grip tapes too. There's also a warranty booklet which covers you for 12 months and a manual. So yeah, all in all, this is what I would expect from a gaming mouse when it comes to the accessories you get. The shape is probably the biggest reason this mouse works. This is a very safe symmetrical shape, and if you've used something like the VXE Mad R Major, or even shapes in the Pulsar X2 family, this will feel familiar pretty quickly. The dimensions are all the same with slight differences in the shape. Compared to all these models, the biggest difference is actually the scroll wheel of the ATK Zero, which sits deeper in the shell and is shorter too. The sides are slightly less flared out as well. It leans on the medium to small side for a mouse, with a medium rear hump, fairly flat sides, and a front that doesn't feel too aggressive. It's not a weird experimental shape. It's one of those mice where most people can pick up and immediately go, yeah, I can probably aim with this. For grip styles, I think this works really well for a claw grip. Relaxed claw, aggressive claw, and pincer claw also all make sense here. Fingertip grip also works because the sides are fairly safe and the mouse is light enough to move easily. So yeah, even if you have large hands, these grip styles will work. For me personally, I've kind of medium to small hands, and I primarily use a claw grip, so I felt comfortable straight away using this mouse. Palm grip is also possible if your hands are smaller, but if you have larger hands, this probably won't work for you. You can rest your hand on it, but it's not really designed to feel the palm like a bigger ergonomic mouse. As for the weight, you're looking at roughly 47 grams with the stock skates installed, which puts it in the realm of many performance-first esports mice. Sure, it's not a super lightweight sub 40 gram mouse, but it feels significantly lighter and easier to move than something like my Iwidine S9 V2, which comes in at 64 grams, and that in itself is still considered a lightweight mouse. The balance feels good too. It doesn't feel awkwardly front heavy or back heavy, and when I'm playing shooters, I don't really think about the weight distribution, which is usually a good sign. And yeah, despite the low weight and translucent build, I didn't notice any creaking or even flexing, and the base feels flat when moving across my glass mousepad. It's surprisingly sturdy. I did notice some online chatter regarding issues about some units that did creak or had an uneven base, so maybe ATK has some QA issues they need to sort through, but for my unit I didn't have any such problems. Now for the coating, ATK describes it as a nano coating, and it has a slightly dry, slightly grippy feel. It's not the stickiest coating I've ever used, so if you do get sweaty hands, you might find it does get slippery. The good thing is ATK includes grip tape in the box, so you do have the option to use that if you need to, though I'm pretty happy with the way it feels as is. Now when we flip this over, you can see here the skates installed. These are the stock skates. These are 100% pure PTFE white skates, so they glide really well and smoothly right out of the box. ATK describes them as a dual layer anti-indentation skates, which basically means they're designed to resist denting and keep the glide more consistent over time. If you wear them out over time, you can always replace them with the extra skates in the box. They've also included dot skates here, which is especially great if you have a glass mousepad. If you've ever used a glass mousepad, you'll notice that normal skates can feel quite scratchy on them and don't move as smoothly. So if you do use the dot skates they've included, you'll find your movement on glass mousepads a lot smoother. I haven't done it myself, but I might do that after the video. Okay, let's take a look at the clicks. The main clicks use the ATK custom optical switches. The clicks feel fast and responsive enough, but I wouldn't say say they are perfect. They feel a little bit mushier than my Ewidine S9 V2, which uses Kale optical switches, but that mouse is also more expensive. Still, they are easy to spam, but I would say they have a more medium tension rather than that super light crispy click feel. There's also some post travel if you click further towards the front of the left or right buttons. The side buttons are okay, but they feel a little mushy too, especially the rear side button. I do love the scroll wheel though. It has defined steps, the tension feels good, and the middle click is really easy to use and definitely has less resistance than a lot of other mice out there. So yeah, all in all, the clicks are pretty solid. They're not the best in the market, but considering the price, they get the job done. Here's what they sound like. When it comes to the software, ATK offers a lightweight web or desktop driver, and it works really well. I downloaded the desktop driver and just played around with some of the settings. You get a good amount of control here. You can set up to 4 different profiles, which is nice if you want different settings for gaming, desktop use, or different games. You can also remap all the buttons. Just note this mouse has no dedicated DPI button, so DPI can only be changed in the software unless you map that function to one of the buttons. Since this uses the POR 3950 Ultra sensor, you can set the DPI all the way up to 42,000, which is absolutely overkill, but still nice to have. There are also 4 DPI profiles, and the indicator light changes depending on which DPI stage you're using. Then you have the polling rate, which can go as low as 125Hz or as high as 8000Hz. I find 8000Hz polling rate overkill, especially on my 165Hz monitor. On top of that, some games like League of Legends are unstable at 8000Hz, so I just set the polling rate to 2000, and to be honest, I don't really notice a big difference anyway once you get past a 2000Hz polling rate. It's also here that you can tweak the sensor sampling rate between 3 modes, each offering a theoretical higher performance but taking a hit on the battery life. I set this to the middle setting called ATK Shard Competitive Firmware for a balance of performance and battery, and I love how on this same page you get battery estimates so you can really see how much of an impact an 8K polling rate with the maximum sampling rate does. Your battery life can literally go from up to 200 hours, which is amazing, all the way down to 24 hours. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Of course, it doesn't really matter if you use your mouse only in wide mode. Apart from that, the software also gives you macros and parameter settings like movement synchronization, ripple correction, debounce delay, lift-off distance, and sleep timing. I can't complain about the software. I think it does everything you'd expect and more, so kudos to ATK here. The software gives you a lot of control without feeling bloated. I've been having a great time using the ATK Zero. It really does suit my claw grip style and is a great shape for my medium-sized hands. This is the kind of mouse that disappears once you start playing, and that's usually the best compliment you can give a gaming mouse. For tracking, it's easy to make small corrections. For flicks, the low weight makes it feel fast without being unstable. I do find the included cable is a little stiff with some drag, so you might want to get a bungee if that's your preferred connection. I've been using wireless with the Gem dongle and didn't experience any lag or dropouts. Just note this is a USB-C dongle, so you'll be using the included cable as a connection for it. I don't mind it sitting on my desk, but there are always ways around this if you want to get an adapter to plug it straight into your PC. All in all, this is a really good value gaming mouse, and to be fair, I'm not surprised. There are so many Chinese brands right now making genuinely good gaming mice that perform surprisingly close to mainstream Western brands, except those bigger brands often charge double or even more for a similar kind of experience. Now, I wouldn't say the ATK Zero is head and shoulders above every other budget premium mouse out there. The clicks could be crisper and the side buttons could be tighter, but as a complete package, it's definitely on the same level as some of the better budget performance mice out there. So if you want a cheap alternative to more expensive mainstream gaming mice, I don't think you'll be disappointed. And honestly, it's another reminder that budget gaming mice are getting seriously good. I hope you enjoyed my review, and if you like this video, it always helps to leave a like and maybe even subscribe to us. Thank you for watching.